Oh no. Golden Cayenne YT does not know what he's gotten himself into here. Just refarming up. And this is the issue. If you're going to be W King, of not doing it before you're properly farmed up. Like if he put a little bit of time into getting some rock up, some wood up while he was at Sweaty. Just take an extra 30 seconds. He's not going to waste the 30 seconds he's wasted here. Having to farm up rather than just killing this kid and getting on his way. Staying super safe. And that's the... Oh, he's going to take the 50... Forced to take the 50-50 there. And that kid is straight poo. Golden Cayenne. If you're in this, Golden Cayenne, you are poo. You suck. Alright, so the first thing I've noticed, super safe. He basically refuses to take 50-50s up into the point where he's got zero left, right? So super safe about shit. Here, boxes up, makes sure his angles are all covered. Looks to get his full pot off. Sort of reinforces that notion. And again, looks to get his full pot off. Reinforces that notion again. But he wants to finish his kill. He's got the spaz. Like, and having the spaz going to give him a huge amount of confidence. So he's going to be confident he can finish this. Gets the ramp in. Easy finish. Tayson making it look easy. Trying to disorientate him. Goes up for the wall first. Quickly hits him for the 2-tap on that. So before the guy's even registered, okay, shit, I got to look at my roof. He's already gone down and got the got his other wall there. Tries to pre-fire the guy. Doesn't quite hit it. And this is his wall here, so yeah, he'll pick up an easy kill. Stays with the spaz, and looks like he's going to have to rotate here, so wall 4 exit. Hops on out, he's looking to get involved. Old Tayson looking to get involved here. See how he deals with it when we know there's a third party around. But putting some vertical space in between him and the guy who's getting third partied. Same idea, being super safe, not wanting to take fights when he's low. Which seems like an obvious thing to say, but you'd be amazed at how many, even half-decent players... You'd be amazed at how many half-decent players take fights on low HP. So you could have, you know, like, I'm thinking specifically like Reet, someone who's aim heavy, would have 100% jumped in and tried to take that fight. But Tayson, I wouldn't necessarily say he's not aim heavy. Obviously, to be a good solo player, you have to be a very good aimer. But, he's not just jumping in. He's not relying on it. He's relying on good peaks, good edits, good angles, and then if he needs to, he can rely on his aim. But he doesn't want to do that as a first port of call, which is the best way to approach solos. You never want to be relying on aim solely. You want to make sure you've got a proper set of angle, you know, of fighting theory before you go relying on aim. Which is where, honestly, a lot of those controller players really struggle. They are heavily reliant on aim, and their, you know, sometimes their angles, peaks, edits aren't as up to scratch as some of the KBM fighters because they're able to rely on aim a little bit more. Gets a couple of things off, and again, just relentless pressure, gets the cone in, taking cautious peeks. This is the time where I generally tell people to stop W King, because third zone is small enough. Third zone is small enough that you can get third partied from basically anywhere. It's about to close, and particularly in EU, there is a tendency for people to really group to center of second. So if he's fighting at around center of second, so he's around here. So this is him here. If he were pushing any further into second, I'd say there's actually, like, it's quite dangerous W King. Like, without really boxing up and playing heavy angle play rather than sort of jumping in. And that's a perfect example of when Reet or someone who's more aim reliant would have jumped in. Now, I'm not saying Reet is solely aim reliant, because if he plays on KBM, he's just as good at fighting as when he plays on controller, because he understands angles, peaks, edits well. But that's a perfect example of when someone who's a little bit obviously more aim reliant will jump in. And here we go. Jumps in. As I say that, he actually does jump in. And at that point, because he's this is a perfect example of where the chug cannon can be broken. Because he can rely on and not have to worry about healing up mid-game, he can kind of jump in and risk taking a pretty decent chunk of damage because he can heal up with infinite. Alright, so again, this is the kind of W King that tends to be okay. But when I say this is okay to W King in this scenario, he's putting himself, again, he's trying, I call it he's the bread, Because you look at it like a sandwich. Fuck. This might be a really stupid work, but you know, you got a sandwich, and you've got the two breads, and then you've got the meat in the middle. You always want to try and be the breads in the sandwich, okay? Never be the meat. Don't be the meat, the bread. You always want to be a bread. Never be a meat. Always be a bread. But you see here, he's not worried here. He's not the one taking pressure. This is exactly what I'm saying. He's not the one taking pressure. This poor human being here is. Bang. Like, yeah, he might take a little bit more pressure here because of the third party, but that guy goes down, so it's not a big deal. So that right there's a perfect example of being the bread versus the meat. You never want to be the meat. All right. So again, look at the way he works here. Right, the classic 2 boxes. So if he takes pressure on that one box, he's got another one to move into. You always want to give yourself space to move into. He's done it right on edge. He's tried to pull away from everyone else. Takes the wall, and it's just constant pressure. Nice little peak. So again, we talk about, instead of being aim reliant, rely on those peaks, rely on those angles. That's a gorgeous little angle there he hit on that guy. Oh, and a nice little shot as well. So that's the kind of scenario there. That's the kind of edit play, sort of flashy stuff you'd see someone like Reek generally do. We haven't seen that all day or all game from him. So to actually see a little bit of 50-50 and see him like rely on his aim as he's getting a little more confident with 10 kills. As the confidence builds, you do generally see people taking a few more aim fights, especially in solos, as like I said, as that confidence builds up. Pulls half right on his head. Oh no! And this is the aim duel scenario. How the f did he get out of this? He was the bread. Look at the way he makes himself the bread here. We'll slow this down. He goes out of his way to make himself the bread. Gets himself into a 50-50 scenario. Hits him 97. This guy pops his edit. Pops that and then immediately looks to become the bread. Flips his ramp there to make this guy the meat. And now he is the bread. If you learn anything from today's stream, it is that you must be the bread. Become the bread. Be one with the bread. Honestly, it's a really good... It's as much of a meme as I'm making it sound, it's actually like such an important thing to focus on if you're ever getting third party, if you're ever looking for a refresh at half or something like that. It's such an important thing to focus on. Making sure you're never taking damage unnecessarily from other angles. Just make sure if you're getting third partied, it's your opponent who's the one that's getting third partied, not you. So positioning yourself, thinking about the distributions of the lobby, and then putting yourself into a scenario where it's more likely he's going to get focused instead of you. And this is the time where I'd probably like to see him chill out a little bit. You know, first moving's coming. There's no need to really hardcore jump in. You can just chill out. You've got 12 kills. The most important thing is winning a lobby. Is winning a game within your first probably 3 lobbies. Playing the 4th dimension of peace control, pre-taking walls before someone moves into it. Doesn't quite get that wall. Obviously, this man's 0 ping. Sort of balancing looking for his kills versus playing ahead quite well here, because he's not ahead, but he's not exactly falling behind. And he can sort of play like pretty poverty tarps as well, which is you're seeing from him. He's going to look to jump in here surely, because he does need a refresh. 200. Yeah, looking to get in here. Again, balancing the idea of getting ahead and playing back quite nicely. Zone does pull far, which sucks for him. And in the end, I've got to be honest, I think the thing that's probably going to f him here is the fact that he was too aggressive earlier on back zone, right? Like I said, I think the most important thing about first 3 games, you want to win a game. You don't want to be caught in like a top 3 and miss out on, 6, 7 placement points and have that be one of the things that ends up ruining your day. In a 10 tick, you do not stay alive for long with that. Oh, picks up a 2-piece. It will get him through to a top 3, but he does die here to a guy with TikTok in his name. That is unfortunate.